Hello and welcome to Sri Lanka's number one sports hub, ThePapare.com. We are live from the Sierra FC grounds here in Colombo 7. Nice hot and sunny day here. This is the S.Thomas College versus Trinity College football encounter. Don't get misled, as this is just the under 17 match. The second half is about to finish. We are just minutes away from the kickoff of the under 19 match. So stay tuned to ThePapare.com as we'll be coming on air as soon as the under 19 match starts.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the number one choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee, can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1 for 1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging, and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1 for 1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS, and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Beh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the number one choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee, can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The one-for-one plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Meh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-Kap! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The one-for-one plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Meh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-Kap! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage.
No, data SIM.
Massage. Very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialogue 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialogue, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee, can you give me data SIM?
Massage.
No, data SIM.
Massage. Very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-Kap, can you give me data SIM?
Massage.
No, data SIM.
Massage. Very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want.
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Beh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Hello and welcome to ThePapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. We are here live at the CRNFC grounds for the Trinity Thomian 7th annual encounter. As you can see, St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia have already taken to the field. They're lining up and slowly the Trinity College team are also making their way into the grounds. Joining me in commentary is Nawad. Good evening to you, Nawad.
Very good evening to you, Joe. Yes, Trinity would be definitely wanting to win this shield back. St. Thomas's have won it twice consecutively in the last 2 years. They won it for the first time in 2014, and last year they defeated the Trinity side 2-0 up in Palekale, courtesy of goals from Dishan Gonavala and Akil Fernando. However, the Thomian side is weakened for this year with last year's captain Dishan Gonavala, Sri Lanka under-19 midfielder Akil Fernando, Johan Mendes, all of them not in the squad this year. But Dishan will be joining us in commentary in a short while. And for Trinity, it's Dinura Edirivira who will be leading the side today, as will go to the St. Thomas's College team cards. It's Arshad Hamim, the custodian. It's Johnny Selvakumar, Seshan Matangavira, the centre back and the vice captain as well. Then it's Tarindu Jayasekara, Dirk Jansen, and wearing the number 11 jersey is Dion Das, the central midfielder. Alongside him is Giovanni Kanakasundaram. So both these guys will have a very hard and a long day up ahead against the Trinity side. It's Shevan Ebenezer who will be playing up front, one of the youngsters, alongside Senal Dialves, another 15-year-old. And it's Jayataka De Silva and Afkar Lafa making up the starting 11 for St. Thomas's. We'll look at the Trinity lineup after the two college songs.
Welcome back. And just to wrap up the team lineups, now we'll have a look at the Trinity College lineup. Mohammad Atif will be in goal. Mohammad Devda Rachi, Udayanga Girangama, Rajita Jayasinghe, Shemal Vijayawardena, Ravishka Herath, Anuka Boyagoda, Tariq Lienege, Dhirendra Ediriveera, Nataraja Divian, and Nuwan Jayalath. Just to make a roundup of this lineup, and also they will be playing a 4-4-2 formation, a customary lineup, just as we've been notified.
Yes, of course, Anuka Boyagoda is the Trinity first 15 captain for this year, for next year actually, as well. And Dinur Idriveera will be captaining the Trinity side, as we are joined in commentary by Deshan Gonola. Deshan, an unfamiliar place for you because last year you were the captain, and this year you are here in the commentary box. What do you think about this match this time around?
Well, to start off with about the surroundings now, for the last few years you've been the one giving me plenty of stick. Now it's my turn to put my former teammates under the cosh in similar fashion. Let's see how it goes. But as for the game, I have to admit that Trinity, on paper, do have a very competitive outfit compared to last year. They've retained the core of the side that played against us, the likes of Ravishka Herath, Dinur Ediriveera and Rajita Jayasinghe, all of them experienced campaigners in this big match. S.Thomas, on the other hand, we lost 13 players last year. Seshan and Dion, the captain and the vice captain, these are the two guys that were really part of the core from last year, and they will have a massive burden on their shoulders going into the next 90 minutes.
Yes, indeed. And also St. Thomas's College having a few set of youngsters as well. And Deshan, would you like to say something about the few youngsters who has played well? Very young players, actually.
Yeah, most certainly. We've got quite a few young players coming through the ranks, the likes of Senal Dialvis, Shevan Ebenezer, both of them very young indeed, just 15 years old. They were nowhere near the radar last year, but over the course of the off-season, they've really upped their game and gotten better. Giovanni Kanagasundaram, a 16-year-old, he's of course an experienced campaigner. He played last year as well. He's up there with Dion and Seshan in terms of experience, one of the more consistent performers from last season as well. A new goalkeeper coming into the ranks, Arshad Hamim. He's not played a big match before. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles the pressure, but overall it's going to be a fresh game because you see a lot of fresh faces coming into it.
Yes, indeed. And who do you think from St. Thomas's that we need to look out for, who could change the game?
Personally, I would look to the bench because my brother's sitting there and I'd like to see him come on and score the winner. You know, hopefully I can say that it runs in the family after that. But in a more realistic sense, if you look at the 11 players on the pitch, I would say the likes of Senal Dialvis and Shevan Ebenezer, they are two young players. It's unlikely that Trinity have done too much studying on them, but on their day they can be very dangerous indeed.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of hard work needs to be put on by Giovanni Kanagasundaram and Dion Das in the midfield. And talking about Trinity College, who do you think will be the key for the Lions?
It has to be Dinur Ediriveera, doesn't it? The man's played, this is his third big match, if I'm not mistaken. He's gone on tour with the Sri Lanka national team as well, the under-19s. And he's done a brilliant job leading them. In addition to him, obviously, Nuwan Jayalath, who's an experienced campaigner, and Ravishka Herath as well, and the first 15 captain for 2016. It's a rumour, of course, but he's going to be key. Anuka Boyagoda, very pacey individual, represented Sri Lanka in the sevens format recently in rugby, and it's going to be interesting on how he can add some new dynamism to the Trinity forward line.
Seems like Trinity College will kick things off here. And surely both teams will want to get a few passes going on early so that they can settle the nerves. So after all, it's a very important game up against one of your arch rivals. Deshan, you would know how the nerves will be like when you start off a game like this. Of course, you want the early momentum to be on your side. Not, the balance of the game or the balance of the team might not be steady throughout the 90 minutes. So what do you think is important in terms of both teams' perspectives in these few initial phases that they should do right?
To be honest, I think it's just a matter of getting a feel for the game, because in these big matches, regardless of how much you do practice, these are still amateurs, these are still kids who come after school and play football, just like the first 15 teams and the basketball teams and the cricket teams. So then there's always space for error. So it's mostly about just keeping your calm. You're likely to make a few mistakes with the nerves getting to you, but you just need to keep your calm and see how the game goes, and as the game progresses, just work yourself into it.
Yeah, I think that's where Jivani Kanagasundaram and Dion Dias have a very important role to play. They're in the heart of midfield. Of course, they have played, or Dion Dias has played prior to this in a couple of big matches himself. So he's an experienced campaigner in that aspect. He would know what has to be done in terms of these sort of games. So interesting to see how they will go on about it. It's been a rather scrappy affair during these first few minutes, or first couple of minutes, and now we can see the ball trickling over the byline for a throw-in. Trinity have rather pinned St. Thomas's to their own half in these early exchanges, but that can change in a matter of time. Just as we can see a pass being intercepted there by Dirk on the left. Now again Trinity retain the ball. Now this seemed to be the first fruitful attack by Trinity College. Candy.
Boyagoda there with a brilliant opportunity created. A foul early on by St. Thomas. Is a very promising position. Dinure Edrivira is a man who is known to capitalize from this kind of situation. It's not the sort of thing you want to concede in the early minutes.
I think like you earlier mentioned, on paper Trinity do seem to be a slightly fancy team in this tie. Not only just because of the amount of players they've retained from last year's big match, but also the fact that they've had a rather steady record in terms of this year's Kotmale Chocks under 19 championship. If you take their group stage records for both teams, I think Trinity College have had a better run compared to St. Thomas's College. Of course, St. Thomas's faced, if you could say, rather tougher opponents compared to Trinity College, but still I think Trinity fared pretty well. They had a few games where they actually hammered 9 goals up in Kandy, but unfortunately they did lose heavily when they did, and as a result managed to scrape off or couldn't manage to scrape through to the knockout phases in that competition. But they want to put that behind, because this is a whole new ball game.
One keen observation that anyone can make is Trinity have seemed to change the dynamic of their team. There's a lot more pace in the side with the injection of the likes of Boyagoda. Even Rajita Jayasinghe, their centre back, seems much more dynamic now than he did last year. With the ball coming in, very well cleared by the Thomian defender. But like I was saying, the likes of Vasat Korituaku, they weren't really the paciest of central defenders, but Trinity definitely seemed to have addressed that issue and brought in some better, quicker players.
Indeed, with these pacey wingers, I think they would be using the wings quite often. The likes of Anuka Boyagoda, and from midfield it's Dinura Idrivira who would be controlling the things for the Lions.
Early on, it's not been very clear cut, as both teams are just settling into it. Good ball sent in early on.
Ball.
Very well saved there by Arshad Hamim, but the return, the rebound nearly turned into goal. Very well blocked by the Thomian defenders there. Not convincing enough in organisation at the back. St. Thomas's with a lifeline.
Yeah, very nervy goalkeeping in that occasion. He wasn't coming out with any sort of conviction. Didn't know what he wanted to do. And as a result, completely lost the grasp of the ball. And now we can see St. Thomas's College building up on an attack, but short-lived as it's intercepted, but regained possession. Now Dion Dias will pick up the pieces, working the ball wide towards Jayataka. Now they're slowly willing to play from the back, calming things down, but early let-off cleared off the line. Trinity College will take a lot of heart out of that. It was a very good attack. They knew what they wanted to do, put pressure on the centre backs of St. Thomas's College, and as a result, they found them in a bit of a bother. They found themselves in quite a shamble up until the point where the ball was cleared off the line. Lovely feat there by the young man Senal, playing as the centre forward.
Senal Dialvis is bags of confidence. That kid is quite audacious to try that kind of move in a big match. His first would have gotten plenty of stick from the bench had that not worked.
Coming from, I think that's the exuberance of youth, if you could say that. Sometimes you tend to overthink the fact that these young kids take the pressure onto themselves, but they tend to play with a free mind. I think that's one of those examples where you can see that doesn't really care about what the occasion is. You just tend to back yourself up with your skill, and in midfield you just express yourself, as we see Trinity managing to keep the ball in play. Now lovely cross, unmarked man in the far post. Again, very indecisive goalkeeping, but this time saved by the referee's whistle. And free kick for St. Thomas's.
The start of that move there was thanks to Tariqa Lianage. Lianage is not one of the stars of this team in terms of reputation, but he's definitely got brilliant feet. Even I remember Joe last year, he was a real pain in terms of marking. He's got a beautiful turn on him, and his distribution is just amazing. Just a few seconds earlier, we saw how he released Boyagoda down that right flank.
I think he has very good vision. Does that young man doesn't get carried away when he has the ball at feet. Always looks up for that telling pass, which I think was evident in the last few occasions, which is a good sign to see. I think that's the sort of creativity you need in a game like this, especially with a compact midfield. Both teams are opting to play with a heavy midfield lineup. Lovely feet again, but Dion Das comes this time around to cover up, but has to concede a corner consequently. But Trinity will take a lot of heart. I think they've been on the ascendancy during these first 7 minutes of play, and they've looked the more menacing. And fair to say that St. Thomas's haven't even had one troubling attack during these first exchanges, so Trinity will want to capitalize on this early start. And in that aspect, they'd want a goal in their name. Again, glancing header, but this time completely losing the execution, but recovered again very well. They're running their socks out at the moment. It's a very good sign to see. They're not willing to put the hard yards in. Again, ball played beautifully from left to right. They're stretching the midfield, which is really compact for St. Thomas's College. I think that's one thing they have to do. They cannot allow the St. Thomas's midfield to remain the same and to expect to be breached, because they'll hold firm. They have to stretch that midfield of theirs in terms of finding gaps and spaces. Now St. Thomas's, after that onslaught from Trinity College, have regained possession, more than willing to play it through their midfield and defence, but again very carelessly given away. Here come the Trinity man. Lovely crunching challenge there this time again. Good to see no prisoners taken there in that occasion. That was Dirk on the left. He's playing as a left back, sticking to his man.
Good early throw in there by Giovanni Kanagasundaram. Ebenezer couldn't get hold of it. St. Thomas's do get the ball, however. Second bite at the cherry.
I think he's looking for a long throw in, but again now they are changing the man who is taking the throw in for St. Thomas's College. It will be Jataka, and he hoists the ball into the box, but nobody home in that case. Very easy pickings for the goalkeeper. Very good communication between the centre back and the custodian there. Got an early shout from the keeper, let it pass, and easy pickings on that occasion. But good encouraging signs from both teams. But I think with what we've seen so far, it looks like St. Thomas's, with the new young men at the back, seem rather shaky compared to Trinity College, who have seem to be having a bit more composure than their hosts here in Colombo.
St. Thomas's definitely do seem to be on the back foot in these early exchanges. It's just that both teams are playing very compact midfields. We can't really see it from this angle, but from up here in the commentary area, it's very clear that neither team is using the full width of the pitch. And when that happens, there tends to be less time on the ball for both sides. St. Thomas's need to identify this After all, they are playing in conditions which are similar to their Mount Lavinia home in terms of humidity, in terms of heat. And it's a much bigger ground as well, so they should be more comfortable with more space than they play normally.
I think that fair to say that's mostly because of the nerves. Sometimes when things don't go your way during the first few minutes, you tend to go for the closer pass. You don't see the pass which is available on the far side. You always try to go for the safer option, and that's very evident. It's after all it's a trophy match. It's against one of your arch rivals, so you don't tend to take much chances. As the ball is again given away, lovely feet by the Trinity, and there again trying to link up with his man wide on the left, but unable to do so, but regained once again. Lovely dancing feet by the young man. Certainly doesn't seem to be holding back in terms of expressing himself. Finds the man on the near post. Excellent ball across the face of goal, but the resulting header, fair to say, from point blank range, he has missed a sitter in that occasion. Huge let-off for St. Thomas's College, but that's clearly not the sort of space you'd want to give to a player of that stature. And again, the keeper found in no man's land.
Like I said, Arshad Hamim is a new boy to all these big matches. The pressure does get to you, especially when you're playing such a pivotal role like that of the goalkeeper. But he should be commanding his box a bit better. Trinity have been doing this for the first few minutes of the game, and St. Thomas's need to identify this. Dinur Edirivida once again picks out a peach of a pass, not controlled well enough by his teammate. Unfortunately, he's just controlling the whole game, and really moving the ball about and putting St. Thomas's in really dire situations.
I think one good thing Trinity College have done thus far is the fact that they've not been stagnant on one side of the field. They've not hesitated to play that extravagant pass across field to find their teammates, and it's not just about the idea, it's also about the execution, which they have perfected thus far. Just a matter of or just the lack of control which has haunted them during the early phases. Again, the ball bullied up front by the centre back, number 15 for Trinity College, Shemal Vijayawardena.
Shemal Vijayawardena is an experienced campaigner. He was around the team last year as well. Didn't get too much time in terms of playing, but definitely knows what he's doing. As Tariq Aliyanage once again pops up, looks wide, tries to find his support player, Ravishka Herat. Just a bit too much on it for Herat. Very tricky winger. Once you get him in here, once he gets in his stride, he's very difficult to stop.
So it's fair to say that it's not very easy conditions to play. If you have a look at the playing field, it's not very even. So sometimes it does tend to get awkward for you when the ball does bounce in front of you. Unless you assess those conditions early on, it can be a really long day for you in the field as a player. And I think even in that previous occasion, the Trinity man thought he had the ball under his control, but suddenly during the last few minutes, last moment, it seemed to have left him and gathered a bit of pace to leave the playing field. Again, a long range effort there by Tariq Aliyanage, the number 8 midfielder. Both midfielders for Trinity College seem to be doing a very good job in these early exchanges. They're doing their defensive duties as much as their creative play in midfield. They're finding their men up front, and that's created a lot of panic in the Thomian ranks. And again, a very sloppy pass there by Dirk, given the ball away to the Trinitians and conceding a throw eventually in their own defensive half. They've conceded a corner, I beg your pardon, but this is a relentless pleasure from the Trinitians, and they will hopefully they'll be able to capitalize on that with a goal if they are able to do so. Again, a lovely ball across the face of goal, but nobody to accept that lovely pass from the resulting corner. But now St. Thomas's College will have a throw in for themselves. Again, let off jail. They're not convincing in terms of defending the set pieces in these early exchanges. That's a cause of concern at the moment. Trinity, on the other hand, seem to be more than comfortable on the ball. They're playing the ball from right to left with ease, and hardly seem to be challenged in terms of the midfield aspect of it. Again, a very loose pass, handing another throw in for St. Thomas's. They will not want to take this in a hurry. They'll want to reduce the intensity in which Trinity College are playing at the moment. Shouldn't fall into the trap of trying to play at their pace. It usually doesn't work out well if you're on the opposition. Again, almost sneaking past the defender. Once again, another sloppy touch, this time by Jayathaka. And consequently, in attempts to recover that initial blunder, he has conceded another free kick. And now they will hoist the ball into the box, as they've already identified St. Thomas's weakness in terms of defending set pieces. But this time it's a disappointing attempt. I think he went for goal in that occasion, but completely making a hash of it.
I think Shemal Vijay Wardana there, he's in charge of taking these free kicks from the Trinity half. He's been putting in some decent deliveries, but that's just not being up to the mark. I think where Trinity definitely have improved this year is in terms of identifying the weakness and the strengths of the Thomians. In terms of strengths, they're really nullifying the effect that Giovanni and Dion are having on the game. They are packing that midfield. Tarika and Dinura are doing a brilliant job in really getting in there, and they're targeting the young full-backs, especially Dirk, who is playing his first big match, and also Johnny, who's not the paciest of defenders, and they're doing a very good job at it as well.
Also, I think what we observed is the fact that Ravish Keherat and Anuka Boyagoda have easily trumped the midfield combination of Giovanni and Dion Das. And, to be very honest, I think Giovanni and Dion Das have been spectators in this first 15 to 17 minutes. That's something they would not want St. Thomas's, because they are their midfield linchpins in terms of creating play. So if they don't function as they want them to, that could be a real worrying sign, as we see again another attempted shot, this time kissing the bar on its way out. They're getting closer and closer, Deshan. This is worrying signs for the Thomians.
Yeah, Trinity are definitely growing into this game. They've done brilliantly well, especially in that final third. Anuka Boyagoda, they are not with a pass that wasn't the most convincing, but still they managed to make the most of it and create a brilliant chance. That snapshot really came out of nowhere. Tarindu Jayasekara for St. Thomas's, not able to get his foot anywhere close to it.
I think one thing St. Thomas's should avoid is to allow these midfielders to drive in towards their penalty box, because they seem to sit back every single time they come forward with the ball, and that usually doesn't help you with in terms of your defending. The more you tend to sit back, the more you invite the shot from the midfield, which was the case in the previous occasion. Fortunate for St. Thomas's that it didn't have the execution that the Trinity midfielder expected it to. Now again a high boot. Referee awards a free kick for St. Thomas's. Again let off for the Thomians. Now they'll want to push as many bodies as forward in to make sure that they try to make something out of nothing. If they do manage to bag a goal, that would be completely against the run of play here in this game's perspective. But Trinity do seem to be very confident when they're defending. Now again working the ball towards the left, easily dancing past one man. Now that was a very close call, but the referee eventually has pointed towards the corner flag. Seems as if though he has almost gotten past his man on the right. Johnny is the right back for St. Thomas's.
It's a mismatch down that flank. Anuka Boyagoda, one of Sri Lanka's fastest ruggerites. He definitely is on another league compared to Johnny Selvakumar. No doubt about it. Very good footwork from him, as well as the corner comes in. Punched away by the keeper. Second bite of the cherry for Trinity. Well done by Jetaka De Silva to get rid of it. Return ball now. Not working. Tiu Jayasekara not being able to get rid of it. Dinra Dirivira here. Tries to weave his way through. Doesn't manage to. Ravish Keherat. Ravish Keherat, he's got brilliant footwork. He's really teasing Dirk Jansen here. Looks on the outside. Looks for support. Good tackle there by Afkalafa. Afkalafa now could have released this man, Senal Dialvis there. Just took a bit too long in terms of making the decision up.
Yeah, I think his head was glued to the ball rather than the outfield. In that occasion, he was looking at the ball mostly. Again, a loose bit of work there, this time by the Trinity, and releasing the man, but unfortunately, he's been flagged offside. That was the chance St. Thomas has had to capitalize on. Ball from Afkar was laid off to Senal, but Senal, unfortunately, unnoticed, was on an offside position up until the point where the referee blew his whistle for the flag. I think even the Trinity and defenders were concerned for a little bit, but they've had a let off themselves here. And, it's a thumping kick up front. Very stocky lad, the centre back for St. Trinity College, I beg your pardon. That's the number 15, Shemal Vijayvardhana. Has a bully of a right foot by the looks of it. Doesn't seem to be taking any sort of prisoners in that occasion. And every single time he puts his laces through the ball, it seems to be going right into the Thomian penalty box. So that's an encouraging sign for Trinity College. Certainly seem like the favourites in this game as much as they looked in paper.
Dinra Dirivira here pushes on from midfield again, looks for Nuan Jailat. Jailat doesn't manage to do too much with it. Dirivira is really orchestrating the game. Ravishka Herat now on the ball, looks for his support player, looks inside. Tarika Lianage. Lianage finds Jailat again, just a bit too much on it. Senal Dialvis going after this one. Unconvincing there. Anuka Boyagoda with a brilliant turn. He's back again. Full stride Anuka Boyagoda. Looking for support. Trying to get past Johnny Selvakumar. Doesn't manage to put a very good ball in. Not really gifted with 2 feet that are equally able. Anuka Boyagoda. Senal Dialves. He has a good chance here. Great chance for Afkar Lafa. And it's a brilliant block there by the full back for Trinity College. Number 3, Udayanta Giragama. Very good covering. Trinity really need to be awake to threats like that.
Excellent covering up defense there by the centre back. I think despite the fortune favouring the Thomians in that occasion, where Senal was able to scrape the ball through to Afka, the Thomian fullback Udayanga Giragama managed to make that telling interception for Trinity College. Timely intervention again, lovely ball into the box, opportunity, and made a complete hash of it on both occasions. Did Senal. It fell kindly for him the first time, and so did it on the second occasion as well, but both times he didn't manage to put his boot through it. Completely scuffed his opportunities, and as a result Trinity also had the second let off in quick succession. So now St. Thomas is finding their stride.
In terms of opportunities, these are the kind of things Trinity need to be worried about. They've dominated the game. They are doing very well in midfield. Afkar Lafa once again on his case, on the case of Udayanta Giragama saving Trinity, so to speak, early on. Oh, St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's with the free kick on this occasion. Dion Dias would really love this kind of opportunity to put a good ball into the box. They've definitely looked more threatening from set pieces than they have from open play.
Surprising decision considering the fact that the defender was in between the advancing striker and the ball, and the defender seemed to have a bit more control over the ball in that occasion, so seeming the decision should have gone the opposite way, but it is as it is, and it's a free kick for St. Thomas's College, and seems like Dion Dias will take it. Lovely dummy, trying to work a training ground routine, but Trinity aware to the danger, clearing their lines in the right time.
Rajita Jayasinghe there with an absolute thunderous tackle, and it's very nice to see both Rajita Jayasinghe and Seshan Matangavira just giving each other a bit of a tap on the back. No hard feelings. St. Thomas's now have definitely picked up their slack. They seem to be getting into the game as Dinra Dirivira spots Ravishka Herat with a beautiful ball. Herat now with space, just Jansen for company. Takes the man on, step over, gets past him, looks for the cross. Jansen makes up the ground. Herat blocked away. But brilliant once again from Dinure Dirivira. What a spot on the counter there.
Certainly seemed to be having an eye for the pass. Lovely distribution of the ball. He seemed to be an excellent player. Lovely head on top of his shoulders. He's not just about the pace and his youth. He certainly seems to be a daunting prospect for St. Thomas's College as an opposition, because containing a player like that in midfield could be a real tough challenge. Again, excellent feed by Senal. And giving it to Afka. And finds his keeper, Dion Diaz. No man on the right for him to distribute the ball, but intercepted. 4 men surrounding the little man. And eventually St. Thomas's still managed to retain possession, but eventually the ball finds a touch, and it's a Trinity College throw-in, quickly taken. Again, the ball quickly finds a midfield player. Intercepted once again. Trinity, one of those teams seemingly not hesitant to play the ball out of defense. I haven't seen them thumping the ball except for a few occasions where they actually had to do that. So a lot of confidence in that lineup in terms of playing the ball out of defense. So that's a very good sign. And also considering the fact that the game has stretched now with St. Thomas's finding a bit of momentum, it's good for the neutral's eye, because that will eventually have a lot of space in midfield for both teams to play themselves or express themselves better. And also the likes of the Trinitians, the way they have played in these early exchanges, that will be an excellent game to watch during the course of the remainder of this match. We've only come to 27 minutes of this game.
Raviska head up there with a beautiful cross sent in. Can Jailat get there? No, he can't. Dion Diaz tries to get it away. Ricochets, comes back to Diaz. Anuka Boyagoda gets in the way. Dinra Edrivida here lines it up. Very good shot by Edrivida, just missing the post, inches away.
Again, whiskers away from the post. This man seemed to be having a whopping right foot every single time he lines up the shot. It looks as if though it's going in. And with the new custodian Arshad looking in shambles at the moment, it always seems like a good option to take from midfield to test the goalkeeper. So far so good as far as St. Thomas's are concerned. They've been released off jail quite a few times, but that being said, you cannot afford to take such chances with his ability. Again, lovely individual skill there by Senal. The young man doesn't seem to be afraid to express himself. He seems to be a player with nimble feet, and doesn't hesitate to showcase a bit of his skill whenever he's presented with the possession. So despite being outnumbered, even in that occasion 2 against 1, he wasn't scared to take that extra touch. Again, lovely ball worked wide. Now again to the right side has been one of their productive areas for Trinity College. Both right and left, both Dirk and Johnny have been given their hands full in that occasion. This time again, loose bit of control by the Thomian, handing the ball back again. Whenever they do have possession, there seem to be 1 or 2 loose passes or loose touches which hands the ball back again towards their opponents. That is something they can ill afford, especially with the Trinity and onslaught. That's one thing they have to avoid, to give the ball back to them. Again, the little man, excellent bit of work, lovely feet, finding his forward partner. This time the pass from Afkar to his skipper Dion, slightly behind his man, so losing possession once again. Again, no real conviction in terms of the Thomian defending, handing the ball back again towards the Trinitians, but this time now Thomian midfield partnership finding a bit of space, now finding the man wide. Shevan getting past one. There's seemingly 2 footballs in the playing field, so the referee rightfully stopping the play in that occasion. Bit of comedy in the midst of the action. The referee rightfully stopping the play, as it did directly interfere with the proceedings, and the Trinitian kicking the ball into touch for St. Thomas's College throw-in. 30 minutes into the game, it's fair to say that it's been Trinity during the first 20 minutes or so, and during the last 10 or so minutes, St. Thomas's have found their feet, woken up to the game, and slowly have created a few chances. for themselves, and as a result have threatened the Trinity College backline, but none of the teams making the most of the opportunities they've had. So we stand as we began proceedings here at the CRNFC grounds in Colombo. Again, loose clearance, handing the ball back to Dion Dias. He returns the favour to the Trinitians, and Trinitians now again doing what they have done so well from the beginning, which is to play the ball from the defence. Very confident in terms of doing that, but then again there are certain occasions like this where they have been rather sloppy, but that's when the remainder of the team has stepped in and helped their teammates out. That's a very good sign to see. They've always covered their tracks in that aspect, so Trinity College in that perspective has had the upper hand compared to the Thomians. Lovely feet there again by Dion Diaz, sending his man the wrong way completely. And another loose touch resulting in a St. Thomas's College throw-in.
Definitely nice to see the game evening out a bit more now. It's not really one-sided. It's a few more opportunities for both teams, but the ball spending a little longer in the middle of the pitch now. Chances few and far in between in the last few minutes. For St. Thomas's, though, it has to be Senal Dialvis, the youngster, who has been a standout player, as we see again. He's just very, very confident. 2 brilliant turns back-to-back. He doesn't lose the ball. Very good stuff from Senal Dialvis, and he wants it back. Not going to happen, unfortunately, on that occasion.
You got to hand it to the young man. I think he's been excellent in terms of his exhibition of skill. But that being said, he hasn't gotten carried away with it either. Whenever he has the support on offer, he has looked for that pass, and consequently now you have a free kick in which Dion Diaz can swing the ball into the box. This time going towards the far post, but this time comfortably handled there by the Trinity College defenders. Easy gathering there for the keeper. Launching the ball forward, targeting the inexperienced Thomian backline. Now,
and Divya Nadaraja here does brilliantly well. He just outmuscles his Thomian counterparts. Looks inside. Can he find support? No, he doesn't. Giovanni Kanaga-Sundaram gets rid of it. Dion Dias now with enough space to create something on his left. Is Afka Laffa trying to open himself up. Tarindu Jayasekara plays the 1-2. Ball, however, stolen away. Boyagoda on the inside, outside now. Gives it away. Ravishka Herath on the ball. He has plenty of time. Looks for the pass. Can he get Divyan on the ball? Not on this occasion, unfortunately. It's
a player injured on the far side, and that is exactly why the referee stopped play that occasion. And quickly the support staff have come and helped him onto his feet. Doesn't seem to be comfortable, but seems to be slowly picking himself up. And it is a Trinity College corner at the end of all of it. And most of the Thomians are taking a water break in this occasion. If the referee decides to go ahead with play, they'll be rather short in numbers at the back, so they shouldn't take their time too much on this occasion. It wasn't a long break in terms of injury. The support staff managed to pick up the pieces in that occasion, so they shouldn't lose their concentration. Again, trying to volley the ball off his knee. This time, though, the man closing him down, but still 20 possession.
Tariq Aliyanage down that right flank, trying to look for support, trying to look for Divyan to get the ball into the box. They really need to put in a few threatening crosses over the next few minutes if they really want to create something. As the ball comes in here, very good chance for Trinity College. They try to take a first-time shot on goal, but it has been dragged wide.
It's not a surprise that the ball did go wide. He completely lost his shape when he did strike the ball. Uneven bounce for the young man. Would have taken a bobble when he was about to strike the ball, but still his body shape was completely in shambles. His head was looking upwards when he did strike the ball, so not the ideal position when you want to hit the ball sweetly to the top corner. But crunching challenge again by the Trinity, and they're not holding back. Are they, Deshan? certainly seem to be playing with a very high intensity. They're up for the challenge. They want to regain the trophy they've lost 2 years back. Certainly making a clear statement as to how they want to go on with their business here. They've started off the most positive out of the teams and created the better chances, if you could say that. Not that St. Thomas's didn't have their chances, but I think Trinity had their better opportunities in terms of opening the scoring here. Certainly seem to be favourites at the moment in terms of at least taking the lead in this game.
Most certainly, Trinity have looked more threatening as Jetaka De Silva tries to do something there, but Trinity managed to boot the ball away. Johnny Selvakumar puts it back in. Shemal Vijayawardena boots it straight up the pitch. He's been doing that all evening and he'll do it as many times as necessary. Good chance now. Startikaliyanage, he goes on a little run. Doesn't find Divyan. Ball sent back. Afka Laffer now. He has support. Jetaka on the outside. Senaldi Alvis in front. Senaldi Alvis making self open. Jetaka De Silva tries to get it. Very well done by Shemal Vijayawardena again. He's playing that sweeper role to absolute perfection. Dion Dias going down this right side. Not much support. Nuan Jailat does very well to stop him. And the keeper makes no mess of it. But like you were saying, Joe, I think Trinity have been on the ascendancy. They're putting in some good tackles. And these tend to have a very important part in terms of the psychology of the teams. But it's going to be a long game. There's another 45 left and we'll see how it goes.
Just a reminder, as you can see on your screens, about our social media. www.ThePapare.com is available on all major social media platforms. We are 24/7 news hub targeting national and international sports news. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and SoundCloud, and be a part of the action. I think, Deshan, just to get back to what you said before, I think it's if you could just give a gist of the Trinity dominance, it has been their midfield, and something St. Thomas's haven't been able to settle down in terms of this game's perspective, and also what Trinity have done right during this first half is their midfield dominance. So that has made the difference in terms of how both teams have expressed themselves. St. Thomas's have left chasing most of the time the long ball when the defenders do clear their lines, but Trinity on the other hand have mostly played through midfield, which is an encouraging sign to see in any format of football, despite it being a school level or international level. It's always nice to see when your midfield plays you through or plays your attackers or the wingers through. It always has a way more flowing or a steady sense in terms of your attacking.
I agree, Joe, but the thing is, see, these boys from St. Thomas's, and just a little bit of an update here. St. Thomas's do make a substitution, and it's Jetaka De Silva who's come off for Nikesh Saparamadu, another fresher. This is the first year of football. Dion Dias whips one in. Just a bit too much on it by the looks of it for Shevan Ebenezer. But like I was saying, Joe, St. Thomas's don't really get the opportunity of using the resources available. And it's unfortunate because they play on a very small surface anyway at the small club grounds, and it's not really conducive to playing spread out football. So you can't really blame the players. They're just playing the way they've been trained to do. But like I said, it's a situational thing, and it's a shame. These guys definitely are more than capable of doing far better than this, and it's evident when you see on a big ground like this with such a massive platform to perform. You've barely seen St. Thomas's use the wings. When they have the whole play moves to one side and the rest of the ground is open, where ideally you should be spreading the play as much as possible from side to side. So you can't really blame them, and this is one of the reasons that football in Sri Lanka in general doesn't really improve.
Again, a hopeful shot. I think very rightly said, Deshan, that happens mostly to teams which does play in which does practice in very small spaces. Sometimes when you come to a game where you have the luxury of space, sometimes you don't know what to do with it. You tend to still be compact as you do practice on a daily basis. Sometimes you don't identify your role as a midfielder or a wide player in midfield. Again, lovely bit of skill there. Again, high Trinity player sending Shevan completely out of the game. I think that's one of the disadvantages St. Thomas's have. I think that's very evident and visible for most of for the players to see. Even now, when you do see when Trinity College play, they always make sure they use the maximum width of the pitch. They run both the right and left backs wide as possible. They isolate them from their centre backs, which sometimes eventually results in them being outnumbered against the Trinity players who are on rushing from midfield. So that's something they've done very well, and that's something St. Thomas's haven't adapted to very frequently in terms of the first half. Lovely touch previously by Shevan. Again, a bit of defending by the Trinity man. Seemed to be doing his task very well. He's the typical bully of a centre-back. Doesn't hold back in terms of his challenges. Swings his foot absolutely through the ball when he does attempt a clearance, and doesn't hold back despite an on-rushing opponent. Again, easily dealt with there by Trinity player Johnny. Again, moving, caught napping on that occasion as well, but fortunately he had one of his midfielders covering up for him, and it's a resulting throw for Trinity College. As the ball has gone quite further away from the playing field, there's a small stoppage as we find a replacement ball to continue play here. 41 minutes into the game. It has been Trinity College's first half. Fair to say that. St. Thomas's have played in bits and pieces, unable to capitalize on those occasions either. Good distribution by the keeper. Seemed to be having a strong right arm, but even still their front man unable to capitalize on that occasion, giving the ball away. And Trinity now again, this time Dirk easily beaten. Ball kept in by the Trinity man, looking for his numbers inside the box, but too much time taken by the Trinity man. And St. Thomas's now have the opportunity on the counter. Aftab, again, brilliant tackle. Pinpoint accuracy in terms of lunging in. And he took everything, including the ball. And the striker found himself flying over that challenge. Lovely to see. Often the beauty of this game has been described through the offensive side of football, but sometimes you tend to forget these signs of beautiful defending or defensive efforts by the defensive side of players. It's always nice to see when a defender lunges in and gets the ball completely. Always a pretty sight to see.
Rajita Jai Singh, they are getting an absolutely spot-on tackle, but he's been like that throughout his career, and he's been one of those hardy defenders. Even though he's lost a bit of body mass since the last time I saw him, he definitely hasn't. He definitely has been working on his technique rather than working on pumping those biceps at the gym. And it seems to have paid off, because him and Shemal Vijayawardena down the middle here, they've been absolutely dominating the Thomian defenders. Senal Dialvis manages to get past them once in a way with his pace, but apart from that, in terms of long balls and in terms of strength, they've absolutely been brilliant.
I think it comes down to the point about, again, using the width of the pitch. Whenever the Trinitians tend to go wide, St. Thomas's have been outnumbered in defence, because either when their right back or left back does tend to go behind the man, the centre backs are rooted inside the box. And just as we speak, the referee blows the whistle at the end of the first half. It's been dominated by the visitors from Kandy. Unfortunate not to take the lead in a few occasions, but it's still finished on the ascendancy for them. St. Thomas's College have their work cut out for the second half. We'll join you shortly after a short break here live from the CRNFC grounds for the second half for this match, the 7th annual encounter between Trinity College Kandy and St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get dialog roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog Data Roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-ka! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use Dialog Data Roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog Roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog Roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Bah. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use Dialog Data Roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
This is the story of a nation on the move, competing globally through a fiber optic network, delivering solutions instantly with superfast 4G, redefining entertainment with 3G HSPA+, making every day more efficient with Wi-Fi, bringing a world of knowledge to your home with fixed 4G. Get connected to Sri Lanka's fastest network. Dialog, the #1 choice of the people. Dialog, the future today.
Sawadee-ka! Can you give me data SIM?
Massage?
No, data SIM.
Massage, very good.
No, data SIM.
You are Sri Lanka? Why you no use Dialog Data Roaming? Unlimited data, $5 a day.
Unlimited data for just $5 a day?
Yeah. Unlimited, same massage you want?
Me?
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
1 for 1 is all I want. 1 for 1 is all I need. Here, what's all this 1 for 1 talk?
The 1-for-1 plan from Dialog. Get 1 MB free for every 1 minute of talk time, per second charging and a flat rate to any network.
Dialog 1-for-1 prepaid plan. Dialog, the future today.
Here? How are you going to stay in touch abroad?
Dialog Roaming. They give the best rates.
Only if you pick the preferred network. Otherwise...
Just get Dialog Roaming. It's the one and only best rate on any overseas network, guaranteed.
One guaranteed best rate on any network? Woohoo!
Hassle-free roaming with the best rates in over 200 countries with Dialog Roaming. Clearly the best way to roam. Introducing the Ultra 99 postpaid package from Dialog. Say everything you want to say with the ultra benefits of extra talk time, extra SMS and extra data at a monthly rental of just 99 rupees only. Dialog, the future today.
Here, where can I get a data SIM? Beh. I say, old chap, where might a fellow find a data SIM card? Kiannako.
You're from Sri Lanka, right?
How did you know?
Why don't you use dialogue data roaming? Unlimited data for $5 a day.
Unlimited data for $5 a day and...
Data unlimited, my patience isn't.
Unlimited data roaming for just $5 a day with dialogue roaming. Clearly the best way to roam.
Welcome back to the www.thepapare.com live here from the CRNFC grounds. You're tuned in for the second half for the seventh annual encounter between Trinity College Kandy and St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia. It's a 0-all half-time scoreline, but there were enough opportunities for both teams to open the scoring, especially for Trinity College Kandy, who dominated proceedings from the start, and St. Thomas's having gone to sleep during the first 20 minutes, woke up to the task, but didn't manage to make a significant impact on the game as Trinity continued to dominate in midfield, especially with their usual suspects taking control of the game. Did a very good job in terms of playing the ball from either side. Made sure they stretch play as much as possible against this compact St. Thomas's College defense. St. Thomas's, on the other hand, have their work cut out in the second half. I'm joined in here in commentary with Nawad. Nawad, a lot of work for the boys from Mount Lavinia to do.
Yes, indeed, Joe. There were quite a few opportunities in the first 25 to 30 minutes for the Lions. One hitting, just skimming off the crossbar, and another couple of chances, especially with Dinure Edirivira taking a couple of long-range efforts. One going just past the right upright, but then on in just after the 30-minute mark or so, St. Thomas's came back into the game with Shanal Dialvis and Shannon Ebenezer, the two youngsters making something out of the match for St. Thomas's. A couple of opportunities created for St. Thomas's.
Yeah, I think as the game progressed, Trinity College took a lot of heart in terms of testing the St. Thomas's College custodian. They took a few shots from range. Unfortunately for them, they didn't have the execution it required in terms of opening the scoring. As we see, John Dias working his way into midfield and taking on a shot. The Trinity College keeper doing his job in that occasion.
Yes, first signs of intent in the second half for St. Thomas's actually, because they were the ones who were under the cosh in the first opening few minutes in the first half, but now with the first shot on target, testing the keeper for the first time almost. St. Thomas's showing their intentions as Trinity College now going on the attack. And a throw in as I'm joining the commentary box by Deshan. Gonora, Deshan, what do you think the halftime talk for both the sides would have been?
I think for Trinity it would have been pretty straightforward, just to continue playing the way they did over the course of the first 25 minutes.
The luck wasn't on their side actually.
Most certainly it wasn't. It was all in favour of St. Thomas's. Some very good efforts from the Trinity skipper as well. But St. Thomas's, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure they had some words thrown about regarding how they need to really up their game, especially in the middle of the park, and try to spread their play out a bit. As Tariq Aliyanage tries to get into the area here with Udayanta Giragama. Hoikes it for his skipper. Dinu Edrivira looks for support. Anuka Boyagoda makes a meal of it. He manages to retain possession. Boyagoda has been a threat down the flank, and he's back here again. Good chance on one. Zala tries to let fly. Very well done by Dion Dias. Once again, it's Trinity on the offensive. Edrivira looks for Boyagoda again. Boyagoda gets the ball back. Some luck playing a part. Boyagoda manages to make a hash of it. Doesn't do too well. He's definitely been bossing Selva Kumar down that left flank. Now Johnny's had a terrible evening.
Yes, indeed, with the pace of Boyagoda and with his upper body strength. I think he has definitely had the edge over Johnny. But to be fair to Johnny, I think he has handled Boyagoda in a decent manner. Just the defensive part. Whatever and whenever he has to do.
I beg your pardon now. That was Rajita Jaisingh again coming from the back. He doesn't manage to hold on to the ball. Dion Dias looks for his options. Afka Lafa, who's come very much to the middle of the park, all the way from his wing position. The right flank is now bare for St. Thomas's. Lafa manages to get past the man. You can see offside flag already up. Nikesh Saparamadu not paying any attention to the back line. But once again, it's just the same mistakes that St. Thomas's continue to do. Afka Lafa, who was supposed to be a right winger, he's on the centre circle. And Dion Dias, even though Rafa was in the right place on that occasion, is not really having much in terms of options on the right side. Shevan Ebenezer, the only man there, and I don't think he can do much by himself. Edrivira again. Edrivira finds Ravish Kaherat. He's been brilliant this evening, Ravish Kaherat, not in terms of crosses, but he's really teased this man, Dinre Edrivira now. Manages to get past two players beautifully. Divyan doesn't do too well. Boyagoda tries to get it off Tariq Lianage. Back again with the ball. Nuan Zailat, he's dropped into midfield from his striking position. Takes on Dion Dias. Looks for Boyagoda. Boyagoda to Zailat. Just a bit too confident there from Boyagoda. He tries to nip it in the bud and try to put it between the defender's legs. Doesn't work out too well for the first 15 Ruggerite and Sri Lanka Sevens national. Tariq Lianage, who's put some dangerous crosses in all evening. Once again, very good chance for him. He whips it in. Good cross. Dinre Edrivira here at the far post. Foul call. Dinre Edrivira, a judge to have held the man when he was going up, but Arshad Hamim having that under control. Seshan Mathangavira now, the vice captain, to take the resulting free kick for St. Thomas's. At least in terms of setting up now, you can see that Dirk Jansen has spread out a bit more along with his players, along with his fellow teammates, which is nice to see. St. Thomas's have taken some of the coach's words into their heads and are trying to put it into action.
But somehow the midfield seems to be non-existent, because when that free kick was given, there was no one in midfield, just the two wingers. So the likes of Dion Das and Giovanni Kanagasundaram needs to push up a bit more forward. As another long range effort going wide of the target.
Arshad Hamim not with the with one of the least convincing goal kicks we've seen in a while. Dinur Edrivira once again. Edrivira finds Nuwan Zailat. Zailat now looks for that cheeky pass for Divyan. Caught in two minds there, Dirk Jansen. Divyan has been a real threat with his aggression and puts Dirk Jansen in quite a sticky situation. Jansen takes the safe route and puts it out for a corner kick. Once again, Tariq Aliyanage with another opportunity to put in one of those dangerous crosses of his. Dinur Edrivira definitely has come up now, and he's definitely taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
He did it in the first half, and he has started to do that in the second half as well. As again some loose bit of defending by S.Thomas.
Udayanta Giragama manages to stick a boot out and halt that pass. Nikesh Saparamadu, however, gets the return ball. Good chance for Senardi Alvis. Senardi Alvis tries to get past the man. Udayanta Giragama yet again with a match-saving tackle. It's not the first time he's done that today. As Rajit Jayasinghe finds Nuwan Zailat. Nuwan Zailat. Dinur Edrivira once again. He looks to get past his man. Well done, Edrivira, to get past the Tomian skipper. Boyagoda has cut in. He has no options down the left. Ravishka Herat comes in from the middle. Very good work by Ravishka Herat. Very good feed by the winger. Some very fancy footwork. St. Thomas's not really up to the task there. But the cross just lacked the quality that was necessary. Arshad Hamim looks for Dirk Jansen. Jansen once again hugging the touchline, which is a very nice thing to see. Something we didn't see in the first half. Udayanta Giragama tries to test Nikesh Saparamadu. Saparamadu tries to look for a speculative cross. Doesn't do too well. Nuwan Zailat now has come into the middle of the park with Divyan playing up front in a false nine role almost. And it definitely seems to be working. Trinity are enjoying far more incisive play. Divyan now looking for that cross. Not enough on it, as Ravishka Herat, who's drifted in from the left, manages to look for an effort, but just a bit too short in terms of opportunity. Dinur Edrivira once again pushing on, him versus Dion Dice. It's been a brilliant spectacle to watch both of them driving their teams on the middle of the park. Nuwan Zailat once again looks for Edrivira. Dion Dice tries to get it, doesn't do too well. Referee getting in the way there. Johnny with a very unconvincing clearance. Very good chance. Man goes down. No foul given. Ravishka Herat was the first to get there. Dias now tries to get rid of it. Ravishka Herat with a clobbering tackle. Very, very good work. The ball goes out for a goal kick, but that's definitely likely to have unsettled some nerves, especially in the Tomian skipper. Very good tackle indeed. Shows a lot of hunger. Trinity definitely are in it to win it now.
Absolutely. After keeping the shield for the first 4 years, they dearly want to bring that shield back to Kandy, and no better place to do it than their opponent's home ground. Almost 10 minutes gone in this second half, into the 55th minute, as Shanal Dialves once again stopped in his tracks. The youngster who has shown more than glimpses of his brilliance in this match with his nimble footwork.
Once again, Trinity get rid of it. Shemal Vijayawardena puts his lasers through it. He's been doing that all evening. It's not the first time we mentioned that, but he's been very effective. Dinur Edrivira now on the right side of midfield. He looks inside. He finds support. Tariq Aliyanage. Liyanage gets past one man. Tries to get past another. Puts a shot in. Arshad Hamim. He should have taken it first time, but he manages to palm it and then collect it on the rebound. Trinity continuing to dominate. They are holding on to the ball very well. Good chance again. Tariq Aliyanage. He lets fly. Nearly. Very, very nearly again. Arshad Hamim nowhere close to that one. Very good effort by Tariq Aliyanage. The midfield definitely coming into play here.
The Thomians have been guilty of pushing back whenever St. Thomas's, whenever Trinity had the ball. And you could see the Lions sensing the spaces up front, trying the long range efforts. Thomians without marking their man, blocking their man, has been pushing back rather than moving up and making the tackles which are needed.
Back on the grind here are St. Thomas as Udayanta Giragama. He's been absolutely brilliant at right back now, hasn't he? He's not let anything get past him, that boy.
Well, apart from the two which he did let go past him in this second half, yes, he has had a good game, Deshan.
I think one of the reasons that Trinity are definitely far more dominant force this season is because they've really got their defense sorted. They look a rock solid partnership, Shemal and Rajitha. They've been absolutely brilliant as St. Thomas's are in the process of making another substitution. Afka Lafa looks like the man who's going to come off. Yes, he is. And coming on for St. Thomas's, J.S. Paul. J.S. Paul, a midfielder, a wiry player, a former Trinitian, actually, Paul. It's going to be rather interesting to see how he contends with his emotions. It's the first time he's playing at under 19 level. Another 16-year-old. Wasn't the biggest fan of Trinity football, according to what he's told me. And he's definitely going to smell blood coming into this game. Once again, St. Thomas's just stuck in that middle area of the pitch. Nuwan Zaila tries to control it. Joani Kanakosundaram in vain there. Nuwan Zaila does brilliant to get past you. Jayasekar, a threatening position for Trinity College. Seshan Matangavira deals with it. The vice captain, he's got a good turn of pace on him, Nuwan Zaila, but Seshan Matangavira, he's got the speed to match. Quick throw by Udayanta Giragama there. Tariq Aliyanage. Ravishka Herat. Herat whips it in. Ebenezer controls it. Can he get it away? Yes, he does. Shemal Vijayawardena coming in from the back. And in captain hitting the deck. Seshan Matangavira tried to go for a speculative cycle kick and ended up landing on his head. Not an injury that you want to wish upon anybody. really, because it's an absolutely devastating blow and something that can leave you in a concussion even. Dion Dias, meanwhile, has pulled up with a bout of cramp. He's getting stretched a bit, but both teams taking a much-needed re-energizing break. Dinura Ediriveer on the far side, really getting to the face of his teammates and trying to charge them up. Trinity having a bit of a team meeting. St. Thomas's, meanwhile, are trying to gather themselves. Again, Seshan Matangavira definitely does not seem to be doing too well. Physio Sanjeeva trying his best to get the man back on his feet. And Seshan Matangavira seems to be getting himself in order. He doesn't seem to be doing too well, but let's see how it goes. Hopefully for St. Thomas's sake, he's not doing too badly.
And just a reminder, stay on top of sporting news each day at 6:30 p.m. On the recap, your daily sports update which brings you the day's news from the sporting arena.
And the game starts off with a drop ball as Trinity College do what is rightful in terms of the ethics of sports and kick it out for St. Thomas's to continue. Dirk Jansen to take this throw. Good chance again here for St. Thomas's College. They, however, lose the ball, and once again is Nuan Zailat. Now he's looking on the outside. Anuka Boyagoda available. No, he looks for Tariq Lianage. Lianage finds Ravishka Herat. Good chance for him to whip a ball into the box. Options available. Dion Dias suddenly at centre back, covering up for his deputy. Rajita Jayasinghe comes up. Tariq Lianage. Jayasinghe has stayed up. He's done very well to intercept this one. Manages to find Tariq Lianage in that tight space. Lianage lets fly. Doesn't do too badly, but Johnny Selvakuma gets in the way of that. And Arshad Hamim manages to collect Dion Dias here at right back now. Playing a Wayne Rooney-esque role. Not really a given position. Trinity once again with the ball back in their grasp. Goal kick rather. On this occasion, Tariq Lianage tries to get it. Divyan here. Divyan wins it. With two men to beat. Tariq Lianage gets the return ball. Anuka Boyagoda tries to look on the inside. The Sri Lanka Sevens representative does not do well enough. Ravishka Herat. Well done by Ravishka Herat to get past his man Nikesh Saparamadu, left for dead. And it's Udayanta Giragama. It's had a solid game today. Nuan Zailat in the middle of the park. Giovanni Kanagasundaram there for support, for company. Anuka Boyagoda once again looks inside. Dinra Edrivira here. Good chance for the skipper. Doesn't manage to put it in. Nuan Zailat. His efforts blocked. Ravishka Herat trying to go for the spectacular. Cheeky back heel pass there, but makes a mess of it. And Udayanta Giragama once again there to clean up the mess. Trinity definitely have been very potent in terms of the attacks, but it's just that they've not been able to put the ball into the back of the net. Seshan Matangavira here drawing a cheer from the crowd. He's shrugged off his injury and he's back on the pitch, and much to the delight of the Tomian skipper Dion Dias, who can now go and assume his usual role. Now we have another cramp here as Ravish Kaherat on the near side has gone down with a bout of cramp. The referee just asking whether he wants to get off the pitch, but he seems to be all right. Dinure Dirivira and Tarika Lianage getting involved to ensure that he will continue. Dirk Jansen with the throw. Udayanta Giragama deals with it once again. Good chance here for Trinity to get rid of the ball after a bit of pressure. Anuka Boygoda picks it up. He manages to get rid of it, doesn't go too far away. S.Thomas is again with a wasted bit of possession, and a corner is the result. They definitely need to be doing a bit better if they want to convert these chances into goals. Dion Dias, who's been putting these crosses in for a very long time, he has plenty of men in the box to aim for. Seshan Matangavira and Tarindu Jayasekara are both more than capable of turning these in. Let's see how this one goes. St. Thomas is now with a chance after a while. Dias with the burden on him to put in a good cross. He whips it in, Dion Dias. Very good cross. Can St. Thomas has turned this one in? Very good chance. But no, it's gone outside. The referee has adjudged it to have crossed the goal line before it came back in. Another wasted opportunity. They really need to be putting in these crosses and challenging the Trinityan defence. Another letdown. Shemal Vijay puts his boot through this one again. Ball comes back off a Thomian defender, Nikesh Saparamadu. Gives it away, and now it's Nuan Zailat who went for a cheeky nutmeg, but Dion Dias was aware of the threat. Mahoga Digarachi. Nuan Zailat. Tarika Lianage here, good chance for him, Lianage. Oh, very well tackled there by Seshan Mathangavira. He's come back from the dead, so to speak, and he's really imposing himself now, bossing this defense. Ravish Kaherat, the cramp playing a part in his play there, but St. Thomas is now on the counter attack. Good chance for Nikesh Saparamadu to put this one in. Good challenge, but the ball still comes in and he rolls it out of bounds and onto the side netting. Pace of the game now taking a slight turn for the worst. They are playing at a far slower tempo, rightly so, because they've been playing for more than an hour at a very high speed. But it's very hard to say which team will score at the moment, because even though Trinity have had the chances, they've not really been able to turn them into clear-cut efforts. They've threatened in and around the box, but they've not had that final opportunity, so to speak, that killer moment that will really turn the game in their favour. Dinure Edirivira again. Edirivira looks for the long ball. Very well done indeed. But Ravishka Herat not being able to take it first time, puts it out of bounds. Edirivira, who's been a star today in the game, is continuing to really pull the strings from the middle of the park. He's just going there and talking to his boys. There are about 20 minutes left, I think, to try and turn this game around. And the substitution here, Ravishka Herat, who's picked up this bout of cramp, doesn't seem to be able to do too much with himself, and he's finally given in to his injuries. And it is a substitution for Trinity College, something they wouldn't have wanted to do. Ravishka Herat is one of the bigger players especially in the triumvirate of Herath, Edrivira and Nuan Zayalat. And coming in his place, of course, is Sharon Talukshan, the number 17. It's going to be interesting to see how Trinity recover from that blow to change the game in their favour. Rajit Jayasinghe, Dinra Edrivira nearly threading the ball. Udayanta Giragama manages to put it back in Tariq Liyanage. Liyanage, he's been as good as Edrivira, just not given as much attention. Rajit Jayasinghe, Tariq Liyanage. Handball there by the Trinity player. Just popped up at him, but his hand was away from his body. So not much the referee could do in that instance to favour the defender. Seshan Mathangavira, the vice captain for St. Thomas, to take this goal kick. Talukshan to Rajit Jayasinghe. Rajit Jayasinghe finds. He founds Anuka Boyagama. Boyagama tries to put it in. Doesn't work too well. Just bounces over Dinra Edrivira. St. Thomas has here. Good opportunity for them. Senaldi Alvis picks it up. Senaldi Alvis with a great chance to go on goal. But the referee has called for an infringement. The referee does not seem to think that it was fair. A bit of a scare for Trinity College, but Senaldi Alvis once again showing that he's a very, very dangerous player. Indeed, the youngster, the 15-year-old, really taking it to Trinity by himself almost. Arshad Hamim, clash there, very, very unnecessary indeed by Tariq Liyanage. He didn't really need to do that. Arshad Hamim rolling on the ground, doesn't seem to be doing too well. Tariq Liyanage rolling on the ground as well, just looking to avoid a booking for that unnecessary tackle. Nice to see just a gesture of goodwill there from both players, just a handshake and moving on with the game, played in the right spirit. Tanindu Jayasekar and Dirk Jansen seem to find something a bit humorous with regard to Hamim's injury. Trinity win the ball back again. St. Thomas's coming after this. But Trinity once again, wave after wave. Dinur Edri with a beautiful turn to get past his opposite number, the Thomian skipper. Nuan Zayalat outnumbered in that area. No foul. Sevan Ebenezer does absolutely brilliantly. He gets past two men. Looks for that long ball. J.S. Paul now. Just a bit too much on it for the former Trinitian Paul. In the blue black of the school by the sea right now. But St. Thomas's have had their sparks heading into the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's just that they've not been able to convert those into clear-cut chances. Shemal Vijayawardena once again with that long clearance. Sharon Talushka doesn't manage to do too well. But Rajita Jayasinghe pushes on from the back. And St. Thomas's making their final change. Proud brother moment here as Dinil Gonavela seems to be replacing Giovanni Kanagasundaram. One final push by coach Mahinda Pala to really try and turn the result in their favour. It's a midfielder for a striker, and not really sure of my brother's striking capabilities, but let's hope that he can do well enough to score a goal and steal the win for St. Thomas's. I know I get quite a lot of stick, Joe, for being the shorter sibling, even though I'm older. But I don't think he can. I don't think he can have as much of an impact on the game, can he?
Well, the benchmark has been set by his older brother in terms of these clashes are concerned. And well, if he is to succeed, his older brother, there's only one result in terms of his performance today. He has to score the winner for his school, St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, who dearly need a hero in this game. They've been pinned down to their own half throughout the second half. Trinity College can be absolutely dominating proceedings, but that being said, all it takes is a matter of a move in terms of deciding the outcome of the game. And it's once again the skipper, Dion Dias, at the end of that crunching challenge, the decision going in favour of him. They have a free kick in the Tomian defensive half, but he doesn't seem to be comfortable whatsoever. He did cramp up a little while back, Deshan. So again, to hit the ground the way he did, won't be very comfortable on the ball. So his teammates have to come to his aid and back the skipper up and make sure they complete this job. It's still hanging in the balance. One goal seemingly could settle the deal, but it's unlikely to see from which end or from whom this goal is to come. Let's see how it goes.
Matangavira steps up, Dion Dias letting the vice-captain take this free kick. He's known for his thunderbolts and his volleys, but Matangavira here with a chance. He shoots straight at the wall. Tiu Jayasekara with the repeat. But with the rebound rather. But manages to put it out of bounds through a deflection. Trinity have been dominating, and it's going to be a real shame if they don't really pull out a result from here. Good opportunity here. Johnny Selvakumar has gone down under pressure from Tariq Lianage. Lianage will turn back and say it was a very, very mild touch and that Johnny made the most of it, but looked to be a little nudge on the back. When you do run at great speed, though, it's normal for even a slight touch to really push you off balance and pull you to ground. Even the greatest players in the world, tend to go down once in a while. But Johnny definitely seems to be in pain, a bit of a grimace on his face. The physio trying to see what's wrong, something around his calf by the looks of it. Also, just a reminder about Free Hit, a unique platform to voice your opinion. Just feel free to use this blog to air your opinions on our beloved game, cricket, and send your views to the editor at ThePapare.com. Getting back to the action, it's been an interesting last few minutes. Trinity College and St. Thomas's College spent a lot of time in the middle of the park. Johnny Selvakumar has gone down. He seems to need some help to get off. Not putting that left foot on the ground seems to be about of cramp. But Tariq Lianage definitely would be reeling off that challenge because he would feel that he did just enough to get the ball, but the referee thought it was a bit too much. About 10 minutes left in this game. Seshan Matangavira looks for the ball. Gonavela goes after it. He takes a heavy touch. Goes towards Nikesh Saparamadu. Saparamadu couldn't control it. Senal Dialvis. Dinure Edirivira looks wide. Good chance for Nuan Zailat. Zailat comes in. Dion Dias playing in defense. Good pass coming in. Just a bit too much on it for Anuka Boyagoda. Gonavela does really well to get past. Tariq Aliyanage gets the ball out. Dion Dias, good run by the Thomian skipper. Nikesh Saparamadu, he does well. Good chance to put the ball into the box for St. Thomas's. Good ball. Dinil Gonavela, the great chance. But not turned in. And my record is safe. Delightful stuff.
That was a really close call there, but I think the referee gave the right decision in that occasion. There was a high elbow on top of the defender on that occasion, and the older brother here in Coventry waved a sigh of relief as the foul was given against his brother. Usually it's not the case, but he's happy that the record was kept intact. But now St. Thomas is slowly trying to create a few opportunities. The game has come to the phase where it's about the last 9 minutes, so interesting to see how they approach the game here on in.
Strictly speaking, it was actually a sigh of disappointment. I had thought him a bit better about using razor elbows in trying to get to defenders. But anyway, get him back into the game. Dinure Edirivira looking for his options. He looks to the middle of the park. Once again, St. Thomas is with the ball. Ebenezer now pushing on. We have about 9 minutes left in this game. Bit of a back heel. Tariq Aliyanage again pushing on. He looks like a wounded soldier going in for battle to try and finish off what he started. Great chance. Nuan Zailat. Offside. Very, very blatant offside by Nuan Zailat. He wasn't watching the line there. Just a bit too optimistic. Interesting to see who holds the ace in this game with just a few more minutes to go. Dinil Gonavela going after this one and manages to push it away, but Anuka Boyagoda, I beg your pardon, that's actually Mahoga Deundararachi. This is Boyagoda. Boyagoda tries to find Divyan with a great chance. Divyan pushes the ball a bit too wide. Tiu Jayasekara holding him. Referee sees nothing wrong with that one. Oh, bit of a fall by the Trinity defender. Tariq Aliyanage doesn't do too well. Aliyanage dropping back. Trinity really taking the game to St. Thomas's College. Tariq Aliyanage lets fly, but Dion Dias there to take care of. Advantage here for St. Thomas's. Nikesh Saparamadu down this left flank. Good chance to put the ball in the box. Tackle from behind. And the referee blows for a free kick in a very, very dangerous area. Edge of the box here for Trinity College. 1 yard and it would have been a penalty. Reminiscent of last year's game actually. Trinity College tend to really push on in the last few minutes, leaving their back line open. And St. Thomas's College seem to have another man down. Nikesh Saparamadu, they finished all their substitutions. And Saparamadu has pulled up after that tackle. Meanwhile, Senal Dialvis is also down with an injury on the far side. Trinity College, Dinur Edirivira once again pulling his troops together, trying to get them to understand the gravity of the situation. They've been dominating this encounter just as they had planned, but they are still goalless. And at the end of the day, the only stat that does matter is how many goals that they have scored. Dion Dias with probably one of the best opportunities he's going to get in the last 5 minutes. He has a brilliant opportunity here. He's done this time and time again in the past. He whips it in. Very, very bad free kick by his standards. He rushes it in towards the wall. St. Thomas's looking to hoik it back into the middle of the park. Rajit Jayasinghe gets it out. And the ball, after a couple of ricochets, has gone out as Udayanta Giragama tries to push on his team. They've gotten about another 4 minutes left to try and pull out a result.
I think considering the number of injuries and substitutions, there will be quite a bit of injury time added on. So interested to see how much of time the fourth official will add on to this game. And I'm sure none of the teams would want to leave it that late, especially Trinity College. They'll want that decisive goal as it stands to settle this game. Despite their dominance, St. Thomas's have had a few menacing opportunities to capitalize on. But none of the teams making sure they made the most of them. As we see, Gonavela now has an opportunity. Easily outnumbered there by the defenders. Cleared their lines are the Trinitians. But Dion Dias picks up the pieces. Ball towards his front man. Lovely feet, but again taken off his foot grasp. Here come the Trinitians. Now they have numbers up front. Lovely galloping run by the young man. Cuts in, tries to take the shot, but man in front does very well. That's a free kick for Trinity College. This is a dangerous position, and now it will be interesting to see how they'll go on about it, Deshan.
Yeah, Tariq Aliyanage once again. Absolute barraging run. He just gets past about 5 men as Dinur Edrivira here, the Trinitian skipper, now hits the deck with a bout of cramp. It was brilliant to watch Tariq Aliyanage just pull the ball in at the last minute looking for that shot. But St. Thomas's once again getting a foot in and denying them of the opportunity. It's been absolutely brilliant football in a neutral perspective, because it's been a game of dominance by Trinity, and St. Thomas is really creating a few chances. Dinur Edrivira here with a great chance to whip this one in. Doesn't do too well with that free kick at all. It really lacked the venom that he's renowned for, and the type of ability that he showed to get him to the Sri Lanka national team. But it's gone for a corner. Tariq Aliyanage, who's been an absolute live wire in this game, now with an opportunity. Whips it in, Tariq Aliyanage, good opportunity for Trinity. Not a good corner, but Anuka Boyagoda tries to make something out of it, doesn't do too well. Just puts it out of bounds. As the sun sets here in Colombo, we've gotten a few more minutes of play left. As both these teams go after a decisive goal. Trinity have been dominating, but they've just not been able to pick up a goal that can put them ahead. A goal that, to be honest, they rightfully deserve, given how they've played. But Dinil Gonavela there manages to find Shevan Ebenezer. Gonavela tries to track back to mark Dinur Edrivira. Doesn't manage to do so, but and that concludes the 90 minutes of action here at the Trinity Thomian football encounter. Trinity College, despite all their efforts, have failed in trying to take the shield back to Kandy as St. Thomas's manage to halt them. But interesting to see whether the officials are okay for going for a penalty shootout. The two skippers making their way to the authorities. The light is definitely not a problem. But looks like the two captains are about to decide, and they've settled to go for a draw. In the spirit of sportsmanship, brilliant stuff to see from both the captains. They've gone for the draw, and that means that St. Thomas's managed to retain the shield by virtue of not losing the encounter this year. Trinity go home empty-handed yet again for the third year now. It's not an ideal way for either of the teams to pick up a result, but that's how it's gone. And it's nice to see the spirit of sportsmanship existing between the two schools. For Trinity, this will certainly be like a loss, given that they played absolutely brilliantly and outclassed St. Thomas's. But for St. Thomas's, they held their own, and they parked the bus to a degree and managed to hold on to the result absolutely brilliantly. And that concludes the action here from the CRNFC grounds. And the Trinity Thomian encounter for 2016. Catch us again as we bring to you the Royal Thomian, details of which we will reveal very soon. Signing off here for www.thepapare.com is Deshan Gonavela, sharing the passion.